Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom. On today's show, Kyle Bauer and David Clawson reflect back on the tragic Starbuck Wildfire that devastated ranchers in the Ashland area. Then enjoy this week's Kansas Soybean update. Next, Kyle visits with Greg Gardiner from Gardiner Angus Ranch about how the fire affected their operation. Then it's this week's Angus Report, and we'll end with Plain Talk featuring Kyle and Duane Toews. Stay with us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Grain Sorghum. Growers working together. Find out more at kansasgrainsorghum.org.
Welcome to Farm Factor. Up first, Kyle Bauer visits with David Clawson about the devastating Starbuck Wildfire.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer. I'm visiting with David Clawson, just past president of KLA, but on March the 6th, he was in the area where the Starbucks fire that was in the Clark County area, his ranch was involved with that. We're going to get an update. David, after the fire, this summer you got more rain than you would probably have ever hoped for.
Yes, we had 30 days of blowing wind in March, which we usually do, but by the last week of March, the rain started. We had 60 days of rain of almost 15 inches. Our annual is usually around 18, so we got that in those 60 days. We got ground cover. Things grew, and it's just been incredible to see that whole process come in and stop the ground from blowing.
Now, it's my generality is that north of Ashland, the ground is heavier, darker, blacker ground, and south is more what I'll call sandy ground with a lot more mesquite and brush and that sort of thing.
Yes, that's correct. So the closer you get to the Cimarron River and Big Sandy Creek and all those, you're going to have a lot more sand. So south and southwest of Ashland, it is much more sand. The recovery of that ground will take a lot longer than north of town. The harder ground, we're seeing quite a bit of recovery of grass, and we're just tickled to see that. And I'm sure we killed some undesirables, which was a big help that was needed anyway. But when you get to the sand, a lot of the ground just has sagebrush and ragweed is about all that's come up. But we're tickled it's covering the ground, and the grass will come. It's just going to take a few more years.
So there probably was almost no stalking rate on any of that ground this summer, very little grazing.
Very little. You have to remember most of the fences were burnt out, so we really weren't in a position to really put cattle back. And then a lot of cattle lost, so we weren't in the position to even buy them at that time. So it was more of just a position of getting fences back. And people are starting to look to add cattle back now that the fences are up and stocked. So, but where it has burned, I think most people are about half stocked this summer, where they were able to get some fences up and start, and they were able to eat some weeds and things like that, but lightly stocked.
Now, what about winter? Is there still a need for hay, or was there forage that was able to be grown this summer for winter feed?
There's probably adequate grass that has grown for winter feed. We already have the stocking rates way down, so I think we're in pretty good shape. Other than our normal hay that we usually feed, I don't think there's need for additional. We're so blessed with all that was given us. There's some people that still have a little bit left over that will use that this winter.
Been visiting with David Clawson, former president of Kansas Livestock Association, about the Starbucks fire and the recovery in that area. This is Kyle Bauer reporting.
Thanks, Kyle. Folks, come back after these messages for this week's Kansas Soybean update.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways. Of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at kfrm.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Soybean Update.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Kevin and Kim Coles are joining us. They are producers from Mound Ridge, Kansas. They're also part of the 34th class of the American Soybean Association DuPont Young Leaders Program. And Kevin, I'll start with you. One of the things you just did, you just completed at phase 1 of the Young Leader Program.
Thanks to the Soybean Association for nominating us for the DuPont Young Leaders Program for this year. We had some really good experiences on our first leg of our journey here with the DuPont Young Leader Program, which was in Johnston, Iowa, at the DuPont Pioneer headquarters.
Kim, being a part of this, what has that meant to you guys so far?
I think the main aspect that we look forward to and like to get involved in is just being involved in the industry, the ag industry, in this case soybeans in particular, and making sure that the U.S. soybean economy and ag economy remains strong for future generations. And this program is just a small part on leadership training and how to get involved that way, ensure that continues.
Kevin, one of the things this really emphasizes is learning to communicate and influence various groups as well. Have you gotten a taste of that so far?
Yeah, we have. During our training in Johnston, we had a couple of specific sessions on communication and somewhat on how to do working with the media in terms of interviews. And I also got introduced to speaking in front of groups and kind of ways to enhance your ability to portray a message to the media. And so we had a very good communications training from some folks that have spent years in the TV business, doing interviews and journalism type work. We also had some training on interacting and working with people in general.
Kim, one of the other exciting things about this is you get to communicate with other growers as well who are part of this Young Leaders Program.
Yeah, and I think that's really a highlight of the program. And so one of our favorite things with this first phase is just meeting them, young producers, seeing their operation. Each couple or individual gave a 3-minute presentation on their farm and farming system, and we all have the commonality of the farming background and working in that industry, seeing the different systems, Southeast U.S. versus Midwest that we're used to, and their different crops and cropping systems. So that was interesting, as well as just making some good friends.
Kevin and Kim, I appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That is Kevin and Kim Coles, who are producers from Mound Ridge, Kansas. They are part of the 2018 American Soybean Association DuPont Young Leader Program, and they join us on the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
Hope you enjoyed this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Stay with us after the break for more with Kyle Bauer and Greg Gardiner with Gardiner Angus.
All over the country, more and more communities are making the change to biodiesel made from U.S. soybean oil. And the decision continues, improving the health and welfare for millions of Americans while adding billions to our national economy.
What does a brighter, more sustainable future look like in our cities and towns, and how do we get there? When New York needed an alternative fuel source to reduce carbon emissions, the city found what it needed in biodiesel made from U.S. soybean oil.
Welcome to the Jerry Thomas Gallery and Collection, where we feature my renowned artwork, frontier military, and Native American artifacts. In the painting behind me is scouting the trail. 2 scouts overlook the Smoky Hill River Valley just north of the famous Monument Rocks, which are internationally renowned. As a column of 7th Cavalry parade north of the river. On this point, 2 scouts rode in a circle, and there were 18 cartridges found up there, and that meant that they usually were warning of impending danger and firing off their weapons. One of those weapons I feature in the gallery, a Spencer weapon, which we featured in the painting. Very unique and very honored to showcase this to you.
This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
We're back. Kyle and Greg Gardiner reflect back on the fury and destruction from the Starbuck Wildfire and how ranchers have started to rebuild.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer. I have the opportunity to visit with Greg Gardiner. Greg and I were actually in college together. And Greg, of course, Gardiner Angus Ranch, the Starbuck fire on March the 6th burned that area out tremendously, and your ranch was hurt as bad as most any in the area. But I want to talk about the summer after that. Tell us kind of how that went.
Well, Kyle, we've been very fortunate in the aftermath. One of the things that gave us a little breath immediately after the sale is we had to focus on our April 1st production sale. And so that gave us a time to plan and decide how we were going to move forward. But one of the things with the event of the Anderson Creek fire, a lot of the professional crews that were still working over there, they just moved over a couple of counties and came to Clark County. And we hired 4 different crews of professional fence builders. And they were able throughout the summer to get 17 to 20 miles of fence a week put up. And so,
was that an opportunity to change pastures and change fences, or did most of the fences go back pretty much where they were before?
Some of the perimeter fences went back where they were along the roads, but we had an opportunity to change a lot of fences with no reason. Well, why did they do that put through that sand dune? So we reconfigured some pastures where we had the opportunity to do it so we could maintain the fences better.
Now, with that big of a fire, I assume grazing rates had to be reduced. Were you feeding all summer, or were you able to graze all summer?
We actually, because of our death loss, we didn't have a lot of cattle to feed, but we kept them on wheat pasture as long as we could, and a lot of our wheat pasture became our, for lack of a better word, our corrals. We had 800 acres of wheat that we had 250 pairs on until September. We just housed them out there and then ultimately ended up feeding them. We couldn't, because our infrastructure was completely destroyed, we couldn't graze any land until we got fences put up, so it was a double-edged sword. But now that we have, as of last week, finished our fencing project, our infrastructure is rebuilt and we're able to get cattle back out there.
I assume there's still a lot of fence to build in your area.
Yes, there is, and we've been very blessed and fortunate that we were able to complete the project all in one fell swoop. Some of the neighbors still have fence to go and rebuild and replace, and so there's still active work going on in the county.
Was there enough feed grown through the winter to make, or through the summer to make it through winter?
For us, yes, and a lot of our neighbors. One of the things that's been amazing to me, it can't be stated more, but the onslaught of hay that was brought in the relief effort, many of us still have hay left over because of the vast amounts of generosity of people across this country and rural America that shared of their resources and their hay. And so all of us are in good shape for the wintertime.
Visiting with Greg Gardiner, Gardiner Angus Ranch, Ashland, Kansas. This is Kyle Bauer reporting. Back to you, Jamie.
Thanks, Kyle. Come back for the Angus Report after this break.
Tarwater Farm and Home has been family owned and operated since its beginning in 1978. What you need for farm and agriculture, lawn and garden, clothing and footwear, and so much more. You'll be surprised at what you'll find in this huge store. They have what you need and lots of it. So come take a look. You'll discover that customer service is first and foremost. Always has been with the Tarwaters. Tarwater Farm and Home, 4107 North Topeka Boulevard. Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Hello, I'm Dr. Frank Lyons from Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center here in Manhattan, Kansas. Daryl was one of our patients that we did about 7 months ago.
I dug trees by hand for years and years and years. In the process, I wore out my rotator cuff. But when I learned about this process, I thought if there's a way to get rid of this pain, then I want to do it. So we did it and it worked. I'm not going to go out and make trees with a shovel anymore, but I can do the things that I want to do now.
Well, it's been very gratifying to help people with their painful joints and other entities, and it's been especially gratifying to be able to help people who I know and have worked with and known for many years.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and this week's Angus Report.
Juan Lopez is a center-of-the-plate specialist half a world away. He markets protein in the United Arab Emirates.
I work with our business partners in the market. The UAE is a market that has a lot of influence from all over the world, and you got to make sure that you have a strong brand part of your portfolio, and that's where the certified Angus beef brand is important to us.
Consumers want a trusted beef source, and it has to stand up to the preferred cooking methods.
Average temperature demanded in the market is medium well to well done. So that being said, I mean, you got to make sure that the product that you have in hand delivers that. You know, customers are more and more demanding when it comes to juiciness, flavor, and tenderness. So, and that's where our brand is important to us.
Popular beef cuts don't line up exactly with trends in the United States, but there are similarities.
By rule, Dubai in particular is a tenderloin town, you know, because it's tender and is related to tenderness. But over the past 2 years, with the burger explosion, I've seen a lot of growth in end cuts, round cuts also. So both are at par right now when it comes to volumes and customer expectations. So market is pretty much more knowledgeable on this front today.
It's not always easy to get product 8,000 miles from a Midwestern packing plant to an exporter to the facility in Dubai. But Lopez says it's worth it.
It's worldwide recognized. And we operate in 2 different programs. We have the box beef, which is coming by ocean. By the time it gets delivered, it's 45 days old, so it's perfectly aged for operators to use the product. But also we have a program that is being developed by the hand of our partners in the U.S. They are chilled portion cuts that are arriving by air for the most part. So we have these 2 programs aligned, and it working very nicely.
Lopez also says it's easier to sell a product that's backed by genetics and not just marketing claims. I'm Bob Cervera.
Stay with us. We'll be back after the break with Plain Talk.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
As fourth-generation farmers themselves, Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. So when it comes to quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia, call Heinen Brothers Ag today, 800-760-4964.
Welcome to our Bar B, 8,000 plus square feet Western store with something for everyone in the family. We have boots, belts, hats, jeans, anything you could want to outfit you and your horse. Come visit our line of saddles. We have 400 plus new and used saddles in stock. We offer tack, grooming supplies, headstalls, breast collars, you name it, we've got it for you and your horse. That's our Bar B, 1 mile east of Highway 4 on Northeast 39th. Our Bar B, where Western is a way of life.
You don't have to be a farmer or rancher to become a Kansas Farm Bureau member. Anyone can join. As a member, you'll get discounts on things like hotels and entertainment, health and wellness services, cell phone plans, and more. You'll also strengthen the lives of your fellow Kansans and help build strong, prosperous communities through agriculture advocacy and education. Join us today. Visit kfb.org/join to learn more.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help? How can we help?
This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Welcome back. Now let's see what Kyle and Duane Toews are up to on Plain Talk.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer with Plain Talk with the hacky Duane Toews.
You know, it's hard being me. Sometimes it's harder than others.
It's hard being around you most of the time.
Your fact or fiction question of the day, Kyle. A single mole can dig a 300-foot tunnel in one night.
Oh.
Fact or fiction?
Do they only work at night? Huh.
I don't know.
Never
asked one. I didn't talk to
moles.
the mole union.
Mole or hate is such a strong word, but I hate moles.
Huh.
300 feet. Well, I swear they'll do that in my yard. I'll go with true.
That's what it says.
I mean,
300 feet?
Oh,
that's the length of a football field.
Well,
goal line to goal line.
That's a good night. But I mean, that's.
And then if he's.
Well, I think you get to measure all the curvies.
You got to measure all the curves. It's as the mole flies.
As the mole flies. There you go. Boy, I fight them terribly. Next to my house is an alfalfa field, and next to the backyard is a pasture. And when it gets hot and dry in the summer and those fields get hard,
yeah, they all come
over. Let's go over that nice green soft dirt over there in that guy's yard.
I don't know where mine came from. I had kind of belittled your mole problem because I didn't have any.
Pansy guy, mole guy.
Yeah. Well, I have zero in the front yard.
Uh-huh.
I discovered the last time that I went through in the fall to do a little last mowing up here.
You had no backyard left.
Well, there wasn't much.
Yeah.
And the lawnmower was kind of gushing along.
Gushing. Yeah.
Highly technical term.
Gushing.
Because the tunnels were all over my backyard.
And the problem is when they get that bad, you have to basically go mush them all down. That's a technical term.
Yeah.
And let's start over because you don't know where to poison. I have poisoned and poisoned. Last fall, I had pretty good luck. I had one here at the radio station, one of my daughters, and then some
30.
at my house. And the last ones I got were at my house, but I think I got them all. You know, I have had them over the winter, though, come in under snowbanks.
Seriously?
And to be just under the snow in the grass. You can see their tunnels, and maybe it's a vole or whatever, but it's a little snarky thing that
it's
I don't like.
It's an underground varmint.
And I can't shoot them.
You can't shoot underground.
Now I will say that Ken Sullivan says he's got a mole dog.
Really?
And he'll bring him in for a small fee.
and take care of it. What, you do, stake him out there in the yard?
No, I think you just lead him around. He smells the mole, he digs the mole up, shakes him by the neck, and he's done.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he claims. So now the only problem is every time that, I mean, you know,
he's digging a hole in the yard.
Right.
Doing that.
So I get right after it with my poison, and I have found that if I will do about 10 sites, I generally get them.
Really?
And
is that because that way you're not picking the wrong one?
Exactly.
Pick them all.
Yeah, exactly. Pick them all.
Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom, and I hope you enjoyed today's show. See you next week on Farm Factor.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.